House Speaker Paul Ryan today calling out the administration, an administration that has had different things to say about the relationship with Iran and this payment.
Iran released 5 Americans who were unjustly detained on Iranian soil, and we resolved a 35-year-old financial claim with the Iranians in a way that saved Americans potentially billions of dollars.
There was no linkage between this settlement and the freeing of these Americans.
This wasn't some nefarious deal. We do not pay ransom. We didn't here, and we won't in the future.
It would have been foolish, imprudent, irresponsible for us not to try to maintain maximum leverage. If you're asking me, was there a connection in that regard at the end game, I'm not going to deny that.
All right, back with the panel. Charles.
Well, how can you deny that withholding the payments until the hostages are released or in the air or whatever the quid pro quo is a ransom? Everybody knows it is. The administration is simply playing with words. The question is, was it worth it? Do we do that? But to deny it, I think, is simply to undermine your whole position, because they were trying to sell the Iran deal. And then you have to ask yourself, was there anything in what they said was in the deal, the supposed obligations of the Iranians, that was true? What it turns out is this is a deal that is self-deterring for us. The Iranians are shooting off rockets, intercontinental missiles or medium-range missiles that we know are illegal, everybody admits is illegal, and we ignore it and pretend and do nothing because we're afraid that if we act on any of this, the Iranians will pull out of the nuclear deal. We will have given them the money, the legitimacy, and destroy the sanctions, and they will then have a free hand. That's why we do nothing.
And the word from the UN is that the Iranians are mad the U.S. isn't helping pressure Europe to pay off their bills.
And what would you expect when they've gotten everything they wanted out of the U.S.? Of course, they're always going to expect more. But that clip from Paul Ryan, I mean, he really tore the bark off of John Kerry. I mean, and the line about calling him the president of the Tehran Chamber of Commerce, good grief. We've always known
it's almost Trumpian.
It is, honestly, and I think it's effective, and I think it's a good thing. We've always known that President Obama has no strategy in the Middle East except to not offend anybody, or in this case, give Tehran whatever they want. But Republicans have not done the job that they should do, owning the issue and highlighting these things. And thank goodness, I mean, Paul Ryan did a good job there.
Mark.
Yeah, I think you're going to hear about this on Monday night.
At the debate.
Yeah.
And does it affect Hillary Clinton? I mean, she wasn't here when the deal finally went through, but she was definitely a part of it.
She has gone all in on the deal. The minute the Iran deal was made, she was full-throated for it. She has backed away from several of Obama's foreign policy moves. This is not one of them. She's embraced this.
Quickly, Joan, I want to turn to this FBI. The complaint they filed does not include, against this Rahami guy, the bomber in New Jersey and New York, does not include a reference to ISIS. And yet there is, in his bloody journal, writing about Adnani, which is this spokesperson who essentially said he was killed by the U.S., but he said that all of the ISIS operatives should stay at home and do exactly what this guy did. Yet the FBI didn't mention ISIS.
Yeah, no, look, it's funny. I was actually talking to Steve Hayes about this before I came on. They've done this plenty of other times where they always try to downplay connections, lone wolf, right? Packs of lone wolves, all these sorts of silly things. And I understand that it fits a political narrative that Barack Obama has wanted to sustain that has become increasingly unsustainable, which is that we aren't having terrorist attacks, that ISIS isn't a threat to us, that you're more danger of falling in a bathtub than terrorism. Always trying to downplay it, workplace violence at Fort Hood. What I don't think the Obama administration understands is the more they do that, the more it reinforces another narrative, which is that maybe it's actually Islam that's the problem. If these guys aren't agents of ISIS and some foreign power that's at war with us, and instead these are just random Muslims who would, for whatever reason, self-activate and declare war on us, well, that's completely contrary and really, really dangerous to another narrative that we got out of this White House.
Which is the president speaking out about that all the time against that. All right.